Hi there, this is Panchèvre. I am the founder of Prepped, and in this tutorial video I would like to introduce you to the article view, which is the particular experience you enjoy when you're reading articles in Prepped. So we are currently in the library application, library.prepped.in, and let's just go ahead and open up one of these articles. We'll start with this one here at the top. So this article is about alternative energy in Chile. And let me just point out a few things. So in the top left corner, you've got the publication source and the publication date. Of course, you've got the main graphic from the article. And then you've got the individual who caught the article and when the article was caught. Once again, you've got the title of the article here, the author of the article on the right, and again, the publication source and the date. Right here, you've got a little number, 13. We oftentimes get questions about this number. This is the grade reading level of the article itself. So what we did is we found 5 different academic algorithms for calculating a reading difficulty level. And we use all 5 of them, and then we take the average score. So this 13 suggests that this article is written at the level of a freshman in college. So if you're comfortable reading this article, then you have college reading proficiency. So scrolling through, obviously you have the content. At the very bottom, you have the actual publication URL, the original URL of the article. So let me just show off some of the functionality here. This X button in the top right corner will dismiss the article view and take you back to the app that you were on. So if you're coming from Extemp or Congress or the library, it's going to return you back to that same spot. This search icon allows you to search for keyword matches. So there's 13 times that the word Chile is used in this article. This button right here will allow you to adjust the interface of the article view. So you can make the font smaller or larger. You can also change the color scheme to a dark or a book color. It's really your choice, but we'll stick to the default option for now. Over here, we can adjust the highlights and the different views of the article. So right now we're looking at my highlights. So these are all highlights that I have applied. If you switched over here to team highlights, it would show you the highlights that your teammates have applied. Content is just the content with no highlights. The summary is the auto-generated summary, so we automatically create about a paragraph-long summary of every single article. You can also find that from the article feed itself. So if you click on this down arrow, it's going to show you the auto-generated summary. And then finally, you have the web article. This will open up a new tab and launch the article in its original source. So we'll go back to the library. So this edit button will allow you to do a couple of things. So you can edit the article. If you want to edit the title, the name, publication. Sometimes there's a mistake with fast catch and you may want to edit that. Also, you can delete the article. It'll allow you to delete it just from Extemp, just from Congress, or from all of Prepped entirely. And then, of course, you can save the article to Extemp or to Congress. This functionality is also the same functionality you get when you hover over these icons. So you'll notice that right now these icons, green indicates that it's in the library, but because it's grayed out, it is not in Extemp and it's not in Congress. But if we go ahead and save it, so we'll save it to Extemp. So I will search for Chile. And it turns out that I do not have any folders matching that, so I'll create that folder. First, I'll select a category, so I'll select foreign, and then I'll click this plus button. That creates the Chile parent folder, and then I'll create a subfolder by clicking on this down arrow, the gray, and it's gray because there are no subfolders. And I will now enter in the name of my subfolder. Again, I'll click the plus button. If I made a mistake or I wanted to delete it, I could click the trash button, but for now I'll leave it alone. And then you click save. And that's it. So it creates the folders and it saves it to those folders. And then similarly, I'm going to click here on the Congress icon. I'll save this to a bill in Congress. So I'll search for renewable energy. And we have 3 bills that have renewable energy in the title. So I'll save it to all 3. And just like that, it was saved to Congress. And now both the Extemp and the Congress icons are lit up, indicating that it has been saved there. So that's this little button here with all the sort of edit and save functionality. We can also print the article. That's what it'll look like when it gets printed out. We can also download a PDF version of the article. So this is what the PDF looks like, and we have special formatting for that. We can flag the article. So occasionally, Prep will make a mistake when it saves the article. It might be the case that some of the content is incorrect or there's a problem rendering the article itself. These are the most commonly communicated problems that it may produce. I do want to emphasize it's very rare that it actually makes a mistake, but it does happen maybe once or twice out of 100 articles. So if you do catch a mistake and you want to bring it to our attention, just flag it. You would select all of the issues that apply. If you want, you can provide details. And what it'll do is it will send an activity report to the prep team. So we'll get all the information we need, including information about the article and your account, and we'll take a look into it. If there's something we can fix, we will. Otherwise, we'll reach back out and we'll communicate what's going on. So definitely take advantage of this feature because it helps make Prep better. You might not be the only person who had a problem with that article from that particular news source, and there might be a problem that we can fix sort of globally for all of our Prep users. And then finally, we have this tutorial video. So the first time you visit the article view, it's going to invite you to go through a tutorial experience where it'll point out all the functionality. And if you wanted to restart that at any time, you can just click on this icon. You can start it by pressing the screen button, or you can skip the tutorial. So that's the functionality in the top right. A few more things to show off. Let me actually go back into my highlights. You'll notice that when you scroll down, the bottom navigation bar disappears, and when you scroll up, it'll reappear. We have this previous and next button. So next is going to take you to the next article in the sequence. So if you're in the library article feed, it's just going to go chronologically through the feed. But we'll go back over here. And it'll work the same way if you're in a folder in extemp, or if you're looking at this from a bill in Congress. And then you've got this mark as read button. So this is a really cool feature. It's one of our educational tools that we've built out. We want to make it possible for coaches and students to track not just their filing activity, but also, and more importantly, their reading activity. So the way Mark as Read works is you just click on the Mark as Read button, and there are 5 different comprehension exercises that Prepped has running in the background. It will randomly display one of them. So in this case, it's asking the student to briefly summarize the article in their own words. So the student would read the article, pause, internalize what he or she has just read, think critically about it, and then articulate some sort of an insight. And that process is literally how we develop memory retention and critical thinking. So this is just a way of kind of creating a product experience around that. And in this case, it's not intended to be a difficult or time-consuming thing. This should take literally a minute or two, but it's just enough content to demonstrate that you have read the article with some meaningful degree of focus. Once you complete this exercise, you'll get credit for having read the article. So for the moment, I'll just type something in. So you would expect students to provide something more meaningful than that, but we'll just mark it as read. And you'll notice that here at the bottom will say read on, and it'll give you the date. And if you click on that, it'll show you what you've entered in. And at any time, you or your coaches can go into the dashboard, and you can navigate to your user profile and see all of your reading activity. So your coaches will see which articles you've read, what the prompt was, and what answer you provided to the prompt. So that's the marked as read feature. The last thing that I want to point out is the highlight functionality and the highlight menu. So let's just grab some content here. So a few things. This is the highlight menu. There's quite a few different features that are built into it. So first, of course, you've got the highlight functionality itself. You can click on any particular color and apply the highlight, or you can just click on the highlight icon itself and it'll apply the highlight of the last color you used. But of course, if you want to adjust the color, you could do that as well. And then if you want to delete a highlight, you just click on it and it's going to remove the highlight. So that's the highlight functionality. But there's obviously other features beyond that. So you can create a memory bank flashcard. So the memory bank is one of the newer features that we've introduced, which we're really excited about. We think it's a great feature. And the idea is that you can create flashcards directly from your reading. So if you find content that you think is really interesting or useful, you can just create a memory bank entry and then review it later on. So we'll take this sentence right here, which identifies Chile, Mexico, and Brazil as 3 of the top 10 renewable energy markets in the world. And we'll create a flashcard out of that. So the content that we selected serves as the answer. And the user, yourself, you are then prompted to type in a question to that answer. So you could type something like, right? So you would type in a question, and that question is answered by the content that you selected, and then you select a topic area. So in this case, we'll do a couple topic areas. We'll do international orgs and issues, because obviously this is sort of a global thing. We'll do global economy, since we're talking about a new energy source, and we'll do the Americas. You can select up to 3. And then you just click Save Memory. And just like that, the memory bank entry is created. So if you go into the library, we'll navigate out of here into the library really quick, to the memory bank, you'll find that memory bank entry right there, and you can use it as a flashcard if you'd like. And then you just click this brain icon when you feel like you've memorized it, and that keeps track of what you've mastered. But let's go back to the article. So a few more things to point out. If you find a particular word that you don't recognize, you can highlight that word, and rather than getting the memory bank, you'll instead get the vocabulary, just a dictionary. So you would click on this, and it's going to pull up a dictionary, entry for that word. So it gives you the word itself, pronunciation guide. You can actually listen to the pronunciation.
Geothermal.
Right, the definition, an example. It's telling you the article, the publication source you got it from, and then the original sentence that you found it from. And it will automatically be saved to your vocabulary list, which is a new feature that we're working on that will be available early in the fall semester. So that's the dictionary. A couple of other things to point out. So we've also built a feature for Congress. It's called the arguments feature. And the idea is that you can source argumentation directly from your reading. So let's find something that might work here. Maybe go up to the top. So we'll just take this paragraph. We'll click on this gavel icon here. This is the Congress arguments icon. And since we've already saved this article to a Congress bill, it's going to automatically save the argument to whatever bills this article is saved. So the arguments go wherever the article is saved against. So in this case, what you would do is you would enter in a claim. So this is a list of previous claims that I've created. And you can search through them just like you would search through folders in extemp. So let's see, energy. So we've got one, wind energy is great, but that's not really quite what we're looking for here. So why don't we do this? And you would click this plus button. So that's the claim. The warrant is coming directly from the source, right? So this is the actual content you selected. It has the publication source, the original title, who caught it, and then you would type in an impact. Right? So you just type in an impact. This probably isn't the best example of a claim warrant and impact, but I'm sure you and your teammates can come up with much better examples. But then you would select AF, neg, or neutral. So we'll just call this AF. And you've got this private switch here. So by default, all the arguments are automatically saved with everybody on the team. But some teams don't necessarily have as collaborative of a culture, or you're just trying to work independently, or maybe you're in a circuit where your team just dominates the congressional circuit, and so your teammates are your biggest competitors. If you want to keep this private so that only you and your coach can see it, you would just select that private. Your teammates will see that you've created an argument, but they won't see what it actually is. So again, the claim is something you enter, and you can select previous claims that already exist, in which case this will be a new warrant that's added to that to another argument. The warrant is the content coming directly from the article itself, and the impact is the consequence or the significance of the claim being true, and you would type that in as well. You select a side, AF, neg, or neutral, private or not, and then you click save. And just like that, it will create the argument. So if you go to Congress and you navigate to the bills that have this article saved, you'll also have those arguments populating in Congress as well. The very last thing to point out is that this little button over here allows you to copy and paste the content. So let's say you're writing a paper or something and you want to take the content outside of prepped, you could just copy and paste it, and then it's in your clipboard, you paste it anywhere else you want. So that's more or less it. I hope you find this tutorial interesting and useful. If you have any questions or have any issues, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can contact us by emailing hello@prep.in. Thank you.